Hi there, this is Marina with the Chef Sparrow, and today I am making lazy chebureki. So I am using uncooked flour tortillas, 1 large onion, 1 large egg, 1 pound of ground beef. You can use ground chicken, ground turkey, you can use ground pork, you can do a mixture of pork and beef, just whatever you want to do. I'm using ground beef because that's what I have at home today. And then I'm using iodized sea salt and black pepper. That's all we need for making this lazy chebureki. The difference between lazy chebureki and regular chebureki is regular chebureki, you have to make a dough for it, which is somewhat labor intensive process because dough is very hard and you have to make it very thin. We have to roll it out very, very thinly and then it's deep fried. With this lazy chebureki, I'm using raw tortillas that I got from Costco because it has the best deal, but I know Safeway, Fry's, Fred Meyer, or Kroger family, other stores, probably Walmart does it too. They sell raw tortillas and I am going to bake them instead of deep frying. I tried deep frying this lazy chebureki, but the flour tortillas are a little bit different in the recipe than the original dough for regular chebureki, so it soaks in too much oil. I did not like that, so I went into baking it. Let's see how it turns out, okay? Let's do this. We can prepare onions for this lazy chebureki in two ways. The first one is kind of lazy one. You can blend it with about 1 tablespoon of vodka and couple tablespoons of water, or you can chop onions very, very fine and then add in the liquid into the mixture. You can do it that way as well if you don't have blender or magic bullet. All right, let's do it. It's not necessary to add vodka. You can just use water. So we will use this blended onion. See how nicely it blended. But like I said, you can always chop it up very finely. It will add to the texture if it's chopped instead of blended. And then we will add black pepper and salt to taste. For 1 pound of meat, I'm going to use about probably half of teaspoon black pepper and about 1.5 teaspoon of salt. This time I'm not using coarse ground salt, I'm using small salt. And we will mix all of that very well with the meat. You can do it with the spoon or you can do it by hand, whichever you prefer. While we are preparing the filling, tortillas are warming up on the counter. Out of that bag, I'm using only 22 of them, basically half. It should be enough for this much meat. If I run out of tortillas, then I will make something else out of the leftover meat. I'll just fry it in the pan and add it to pasta or mashed potatoes. Give it a good mix. If you want, you can try how salty or how spicy. What you can do is you can take and make a little tiny meatball and air fry it. This way you can taste and see if all the ingredients are in good proportion, because it's truly to taste. As always, the exact ingredients and the amount will be listed in the description under this video, and I will provide the exact amount of salt and black pepper to use in onion and meat under the description. So once it's all mixed, the filling should be somewhat loose, you see, like that, or maybe even a little bit looser than this. So I'll probably add a tiny bit more of water to make it little bit more liquidy. I will add 1 more tablespoon of water to the mixture. Give it a good mix again. Now I will let it sit for a few minutes for salt and pepper to kick in. All right, I made a tiny meatball. I tried it, and I think I'm going to add another half of the teaspoon. So it looks like this time it will be 2 teaspoons of salt for 1 pound of beef and 1 large onion. Let's give it another good mix. While we are doing that, we are preheating oven to 375 degrees and we will beat egg. Okay, the egg looks good. Now we are ready to make the chebureki, put them together. I have my little setup here. I have this bacon foam sheet, whatever you call it, and I have the filling ready. You see how it releases the juice? Every time we are going to use the filling, we will be mixing it. This is for putting it on top of the sealed chebureki, tortillas, and water to seal them. Now that we have everything ready, let's work on our lazy chebureki. All right, every time we take the filling, we mix it to make sure that it contains all the liquid, all the juices. So we will use by sight basically, and then spread the filling out on one half. And then what we will do is we will wet the fingers into the water and brush it along the edges so we can seal them. I keep tortillas in the bag that I take it out from to make sure that they do not dry, but they are at room temperature. All right, I sealed it like that, but I left a little tiny bit of the space left right here. That is for air to get out, to make sure that it's out. In addition to sealing it with my fingers, I also seal it with the fork. Apply enough pressure to seal it. And now we will readjust the meat inside and get the air out and then seal the end of it to make sure that everything is sealed. That's it. Lazy cheburek is done. It's sealed. Now we're going to put it onto the baking sheet. So this is what they look like on the parchment paper, and now we are going to brush them with the beaten egg, and then they will go into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20-25 minutes depending on your oven. So from 1 pound of beef it came out to be, and 1 large onion came out to be 18 lazy chebureki. Check it out. This is what they look like when they are baked. They taste so good. This is what it looks like inside. It's very, very yummy. This lazy chebureki can be heated up in microwave, and to have them taste and feel like fresh, you just put wet towel on top of them and microwave them for about 30 seconds depending on the microwave, and they taste just like fresh. That's it for today's recipe. Thank you for cooking with me. Stay safe and I'll see you next time.